Your heart is the greatest currency you have. We are all channels. Your purpose, my purpose, is not to save the world. It is to save ourselves. It is in the saving of myself, doing the work to heal, doing the work to face my fear, doing the work to let go of some of the judgment about myself and others, that I slowly but surely experience liberation and peace. And lo and behold, I find myself feeling saved. Sometimes, I know so many of you are healers and, yoga teachers and astrologers and all these amazing things, and channelers. I want to talk about channeling. First of all, we are all channelers. I think in some way, even parts of ourselves that we think are innately part of this human experience is not what we think it is. And it, in fact, is a channel either from another part of your lives, in other time periods, or in the higher realms of your higher self. Like every once in a while, you know how you just get in that tone and it seems different. And it's a different channel. So think about the word channel. When in the old-fashioned radio, we would tune this little dial to a frequency, right? And we would change the channel. We are always doing that. And the magician, the healer, the miracle worker in you is here to perfect that, so that you are not at the whim of, the wind blowing the channels around, right? That you, in fact, have the energy and the soul awareness and heart awareness to change the channel at will. And this is going to be more and more important in this coming year and a half as we start to really experience the age of Aquarius. It's going to take us about another 100 years to feel like, whew, we're there. But in the next couple, there's going to be a lot of friction and upgrading, and channeling will be something that you will need to do all the time. And what I mean by that is to lift your frequency, either with mantra or breath or awareness. I love the idea that I can just take 3 deep conscious breaths and bring myself into a different channel, a channel where peace exists, even if somebody is, making me uncomfortable, either intentionally or unintentionally, or I find myself my mind wandering about either what's happening in the world too much, or the idea of old programs I've played around money or relationships that don't serve me. I switch the channel on purpose, deliberately, right? So I want to also then talk about what I said in the beginning, save yourself. There's a lot of layers to this, but the most simple one is that because we're one, if I do the work and I live a life that embraces happiness and peace and neutrality on the tough days, and the more I do that, the more I am saved, then the more I am a part of a world that looks as though it is elevated and it has been saved from something awful. We can, as light workers, astrologers, teachers, yoga people, can get overly enamored with the outside world. And I cannot stress enough, anything you worry about, the alcoholic father-in-law, the landlord, the mate that you can't make it with, and then the news, and then Israel and Pakistan, the more you focus there. And I'm not saying be disconnected, but I am saying be not hypnotized. Be not hypnotized, and know that some of the time you overshare about, oh, be careful of this and be careful of that. Nonsense. There is nothing that has a superpower over me unless I let it. I truly believe that. Like a lot of times people say, well, are you protected when you channel? And, I do, the bells and whistles for sure. But, I trust my heart and soul, and so should you. The more awake you are, when something else is entered in. And trust yourself and save yourself. Starting at my beginning comment, the heart is the highest currency. Heart is the highest currency, yes? So what we must understand is that the heart is a one-liner. It's not that the heart never gets angry, but it doesn't vacillate. Should I forgive them? Shouldn't I forgive them? Should I forgive them? The heart knows you must forgive. The heart knows it's going to be hard. The heart knows that you're in pain. And the heart, when it is felt, knows the way through. I love you so much. Channel your higher self. Oh, I want to say this about channeling too. I talk to my guides and my people constantly, right? And it's so interesting to listen to their response to me. So I really want to throw the gauntlet down here for you, that be curious about your problems in your life. Be curious and ask your higher self, why is this happening? And listen and write it down. And if something comes through that you didn't quite understand, or you think is wrong, or it made you uncomfortable, then the next day, pray and do your morning practice, and then say, hey, you said this yesterday, and I'd like for you to talk more about that. The one thing I know about being in this constant openness with God, which is really, for me, what channeling is, I try not to, although I do, it's a childhood, it's almost like smelling cinnamon makes me think of my grandma. I like to remember how Mary Magdalene was the only one I felt when I was little, and she could do anything. She could be a person, she could be a geometric, she could save me, she could make me laugh, and I love her. But I also know, as I've been growing up, that I need to not be so attached to her. And so it's more of a family. It's a family of origin, and they come from the origin of light, which is the womb of Sophia, the original thoughts of the mother. And from there, we are all created. That's why we can hear them. Because there's nothing in your DNA that doesn't completely understand what I'm saying. So anyways, when I go back, sometimes during the day, my family of origin has, brought difficulties into my life, or not that they brought it, that's not the right say. Difficulties or challenges happened in the day that helped me elevate and learn. So now I can go back to the altar and say, what about this one line? And because of, sometimes it will be days before I go back to that. Sometimes it's a week. Sometimes it's the very next day. Because whatever has transpired, they feel I am ready to better understand it. And so they go there. They're funny. They are so funny and lighthearted, and they feel like superior, but they're really not superior. They're simply different. They love us because they love the humanness of us, and many of the family of origin for me obviously have been human, because I tend to circle around Yeshua, Mary Magdalene, Anna, Mother Mary, Joseph of Armenia, Arthur. There's just this thing, and it's my DNA probably. These are the ones I'm learning from. I also have a lot of Hopi guides, and they're so lovely. But my point is, they love my humanness, and they just want to squeeze me sometimes, like, Marcia, don't be so wanting to not be human. Oh, how we loved being human. But we don't miss it because we get to be in reciprocation and guidance with you. And in doing that, I'm taking them higher, they're taking me higher, and together we're helping the world get higher. And it's this beautiful, beautiful dance. So stay in your heart. On Wednesday, we are going to really do a lot of work in a Kriya for the heart, and then we're going to do the feminine way into the heart by Drunvalo Melchizedek. And then on Saturday, actually I'm not going to be here Saturday, on next Monday, we're going to do the masculine. So I want us to have these two feels of really landing in the heart. The physical heart itself is extremely magical. The physical heart, this human heart. Surgeons talk about this, that there is a place in the human heart that if you touch it, the person could die instantly. A lot of the mystics think that this sacred space is an energy field that actually opens up into the field of possibility. So the heart of the universe, it turns out, is in the heart of the human heart. So this isn't the heart chakra. This is your physical heart, which I love that God did that, because, Spirit just keeps showing me over and over, don't minimize your human body. Do not minimize being human. That is so equally powerful. And because we aren't in nature enough and we don't relate to nature enough, we lose the beauty of the heart. And the heart is this organic field of dreams. Remember that movie, Build It and They Will Come? Feel where you would like the human family to go. Feel where you would like peace to reign. Pray for the people that you are afraid of. So I know a lot of you are really afraid that Donald Trump will be elected. Pray for him. And pray for everybody that would think that's a good idea. Pray for, President Biden. Pray for the leaders of Israel. Pray for the leaders of the Ukraine and Hamas. Pray for these men and women, mostly men, unfortunately, that are making some decisions that are too violent and not productive. So pray for all of that. And you will find you will not be so afraid. And also, that love will build a bridge for you. Whenever I feel really afraid and helpless, I begin praying my little buns off for that situation or person. And what happens is my guides and my soul reveal to me how I can be present with it and how I can be more of service. So everything's fixable, y'all. It's a beautiful thing to be human, and I hope you enjoy it with all of who you are today. Satnam.